Hey, friends, it's Teresa Crane with Jeremiah Dreams. How are you guys? I am glad to be back with you all, trying to get all the things set up just right. Oh, my goodness, y'all. And that's why I'm a few minutes late because I decided to use a laptop tonight instead of my iPad because I want to eventually use my iPad and try to go live with Instagram too. But I couldn't get all the things together. And sometimes it's just no small trick getting all the lighting and everything in place. But I am here, better late than never. So I have some ideas on what I want to do tonight. So as you join, hey, Christine, how are you, my friend? I hope you're doing well. As you join, please give StreamYard permission to display your name so that I know that you're here and we can talk and have a real conversation. That would be just amazing. Um, And as you're joining, I'm just going to kind of show you guys what we did the other night. This is the beginning of the chapel series. And this is a big canvas, okay? This is a 16 by 20. And so that's another reason why I've changed to the laptop so I can kind of set it back a little further and have a little more workspace on my table. So I've got my fan blowing because I left my fireplace on too high today and it got really warm in here. So like I'm going to die before this thing's over. So anyway, here we are. This is what we've got done so far. We just did the framework. Meaning that the other night we just laid in the landscape as the foundation and the sky. And so tonight I want to kind of place sort of a framework for this chapel. And so the way I want to do this, set that to the side, and I'm going to share my screen. The way I want to do this is I actually want to draw it on a piece of paper first. Because one of the things I have struggled with when drawing structures or painting structures is getting the angles right and the lines just so. So I thought I would just start. And remember the other night I showed you guys these examples, and I'll turn this and will try to turn my camera a little bit better so you can kind of see better too. Um, these are examples that I bought, or I didn't buy them. I downloaded them from a royalty free site that just gave some different examples of how chapels look, sort of the environments that they're in. And this is what I'm going to use as a reference point. I do not want to duplicate this. I want to just use this as a reference of how it's put together, how the lines are, the shadows, and just kind of come up with my own chapel after that. So, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to sketch this out onto a piece of paper that I'm going to eventually transfer onto the canvas. But I've got to get in my mind, be able to make erasers or erasings of things I'm not okay with. Um, I think I'm going to leave this piece, and I'm just using the back of a piece of paper. I'm not using even a clean sheet. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or wonderful or any of those things. I'm just going, hey, Janice, how are you? Yes, girl, I am glad I am feeling better too. I think I can bring your comments online. I sure can. Look at there. I'm learning new things every day. Miss Judy, how are you, my friend? I'm so glad to see you. Christine, I'm going to pull you up here too because you said hello and I greatly appreciate that. Um, I'm glad to be back with you guys. It ain't nobody got time for no stomach bug. Nobody. So listen, I'm going to dive right on in and sketch out this chapel. And I should have brought a ruler, but I really didn't have a ruler the size that I really wanted. So I'm just going to use this straight edge. This is just like a extra large popsicle stick. I just need something to give me a straight edge. That's all. And so I'm going to try to come up with my own chapel. And I'm somewhat of a romanticist, I guess. So in my mind, I kind of have a vision of how I want it to look. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of start somewhere and we'll just erase. I like being able to see all of the front. And I've got my example here, but I'm really not, I'm going to try not to reference it too much because I'm so conscientious of coming up with my own thing and not copying anyone and the work that they've done because that's just something very important for any artist is to try to be original and be respectful of other artists' renderings. So I'm just going to start with a basic box. Got my straight lines there. Well, hi, Chicky. How are you, my friend? It's so good to see you here. Um, so, having said that, I want to then work on kind of how I want this sweet thing to be angled, how I see it in the landscape. And I don't see a harsh um, angle. I'm going to kind of do it like this, see how this looks. And I don't envision this to be a great big chapel either. This will probably be a little white boarded chapel on, the siding and stuff. Um, oh, ladybug. I knew something was catching my eye there. One thing that I've always found interesting are the shapes of the doors and windows on these chapels. I'm glad you're doing good, Chicky. I'm glad you're doing okay. I've been praying for you, girl. Um, I like, let's see here. I'm just kind of thinking, I want to kind of figure out, whoops, I got to get the straight side of this little stick going. I'm going to just kind of sketch in a door. And I'm not going to take it all the way to the base. And here's another thing. I want it, this is where I really need my ruler. I've got one somewhere, but it's still kind of packed up from where I was traveling last week. So I want to be sure, let's just do it this way. I'm going to put a couple of little tick marks on this little ruler. And then I'm going to guess the center is right about here. So I'm going to use that as the center of my door. Now this eraser on this pencil has much to be desired, but it'll do the trick for what I'm wanting to do. Now listen, a lot of times when I'm painting things that I feel unsure about and I just don't really want to take a chance on it, I guess is probably a good way to put it, is I will sketch things out on paper and then I'll transfer it onto my canvas. And this is one, I told y'all before when I did the other chapel series or that other springtime chapel, I don't feel like chapels are a strong suit for me. So the best way to conquer that is just to do them and just do a series on it. So here we are. All right. So I'm going to mark my center and I'm going to kind of develop the door based on where I believe that center is. Okay. And this is the beauty of doing this on paper first is you can make all the mistakes you want to and erase them and kind of get it right. Now I know that there are computer programs out there that will do this 100 times easier. I just haven't learned how to do those yet. My daughter-in-law is a pro at it and I've asked her to teach me, but we just have not had time to do that yet. So I need something that's going to give me somewhat of a curve because I really want, and y'all, I look for all kinds of things. So I'm going to use this paint bottle to give me a curve. And I'm going to turn this around a little bit. And this is going to give me a good arch. I like to think outside the box and get a little creative on how I get the things that I get. Okay, so there's something of my door. Let me erase this right here so maybe it'll make sense to you guys. I know what I'm talking about, but you guys may not know what I'm talking about. So when I actually put this on the canvas, I will make some tweaks on this. This is just a general idea of the things I want to accomplish. Now there's going to be entryway here, or framing, I guess you could say. I'm thinking, y'all. And that's probably a little bit wide. So I'm going to erase that. And I'm going to redo that. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to narrow that frame. Okay. And think about when you walk up to a door, usually the doorknob is going to be on this side. And I wonder, I don't know if this will happen in the painting, but we're going to just sketch one and see how we feel about it. But I'm wondering about even a door handle. Can y'all kind of see that? I know this may be far away, so let me see if I can bring y'all in a little more. Hey, Teresa, how are you, friend? I know this may be a little difficult. Oh, Miss Judy, thank you for blessing me. You know what? I like that word. I like that word. Let's. I love the blessing thing. I'm gonna think about that some more, Miss Judy. All right. So, for those of you just now joining me, I'm sketching a. Um, yes, ma'am. Teresa knows the drill. She's from Paducah, Kentucky. I'm just sketching a chapel. And let me kind of hold this up closer where you can see. I've kind of, and there's some erasing marks there. But I've kind of put in a little door handle. And let me kind of shave off this little corner right here so that I'm sure I'm getting things how I want them to be. And that may actually move. It may be a little bit low, but this is a sketch. Now, this is where I always kind of get hung up, is on the roof. This is the tough part. So I'm just going to start with putting in some angles and see where they intersect. Let's do this. Let's find where it is here. It's going to be somewhere right along here. And let's see. Let's just lay it in and then we'll see what it looks like. We may have to make some adjustments. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Now, this angle right here needs to match that angle. So I'm just going to slide this up and hope I can duplicate it. Okay. All right. And again, the angle of the roof is going to need to match the angle of the side of the building. So I'm just going to go this direction with it. And the angle of this end of the roof is going to need to match this. So I'm going to put this here, get that angle, and I'm just going to slide it over and sketch that in. Okay, once again, this roof line, let me come up here, is going to need to match. I'm going to lay that in. Let's see what we've got now. So I need to erase this line because that was just kind of a reference point. And there's our roof. Okay. Now, I always kind of like the way on chapels there's some kind of a covering here. I don't know exactly what that's going to be just yet. What I can do is I can use this as my basis for, I might need to bring this more forward. That's what I think I need to do. Let's see how that looks. And then hang on to this and always add and transfer it on there. You, Rhonda, you too funny. Y'all got to see what she said. She's not saying the S word. She's just going to say she painted. You know, that's another good word. Painting blessings. That's our phrase. So if you guys will paint some blessings, that would be amazing. And here's the thing. You need to say painting blessings from where you live. So painting blessings from, Teresa would say, Paducah, Kentucky. How's that? So let's give that a try and see if we can't use that little phrase. But always put where you're from at the end of that. Because here's the thing, if we just say the same thing, and all of you are saying that without something additional, like where you're from at the end of it, this is what I'm being told. Um, that's fine, Rhonda. Um, yes, Teresa, you got it. They say that if there's not some variation in that slogan, that Facebook's team, whoever reviews these things, will begin to pick up on, and it looks spammy. So that's what we're trying to avoid, looking spammy. So we're going to say painting blessings from wherever you live. And I love it. I love it. Okay, I want to extend this roof. I think that's one thing I need to change. And two, this again is kind of where I get flubbed up with these buildings. So I'm just going to add this, and that means that this part of the roof is going to come out some more. I got to see how I feel about that, y'all. I wish I had a better razor. I've got one in my office. I just didn't have the forethought to bring it in here. Of course. Of course. Might have to play with this a little bit too, to really be okay with all of this, because it's going to look like a big mess right now until I really get this kind of nailed down. But doing all this ahead of time is really going to make a big difference on how it all comes together on the canvas. I don't really like that. I think if I carry this on up, I will feel better about it. I'm just thinking and examining, girls. Thinking and examining. Let's see how I feel about it if I take this part out. We kind of need that structure. So this needs to come on up some more. That will help. And then maybe, I'll just make a name for myself by painting very odd chapels. There's that too. Oh, Judy, I love it. I love it, Rhonda. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are just amazing. Now, let's see how this all looks. Take out those lines. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better about this. And I do want to have a ridge there. I feel like this line is a little too elevated, so let me trim that back. See, that looks a little bit better. Okay. And I got to have a steeple, so I've run out of room. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to put the base of the steeple in. Now I need to see how that sits. Here's where I also get tripped up, is I don't always know how the steeple sits on the building itself. So this one's kind of toward the front. These sit back a little bit. And then it's interesting because this one is connected with a little bit of additional structure. But this one looks like it's sitting right on the roof, just like that. So what do I want to do? That's the question. Let me take this line out too. I think that will help me. It's coming together. I think it's looking a little bit better. think I'm going to let it sit back, and I'm going to let it, whoops, I have the wrong side of this straight edge. I'm going to let it follow this line. So I'm probably going to have to get some paper. I don't think I've got any. Oh, I do have. This is going to make all the difference right here. Because I'm just going to tape this to it. And I'm using the back of my little chapel things that what to do when you run out of space on your paper. Get another piece and tape it. And this will help when we transfer it. Okay. So then this is going to follow that roof. Once again, I'm thinking, girls. And I like the steeples that have several layers to them, not to overdo it, but let me see, what is this angle right here? I want to kind of mimic that. So that means this one needs to be angled a little bit different, just slightly. Mimicking my angles. And then I'm going to add this part where it comes up to a point. Make sure y'all can still see okay. I know it's kind of, I'm smart. Every now and then I can pull it off. Just every now and then. Y'all, just so those of you who are not on Facebook or StreamYard or whatever, right here, Chicky Miller says, I'm smart. In black and white. Okay, so I don't really like this angle right here, so I'm going to change this angle. And I'm just going to continue it until it all meets. All right. I'm liking that, girls. And of course, we're going to have our cross. We've got to have a cross. And I want the cross to also follow this line. And I know I kind of overdid that line right there, but that's okay. I'm going to fix it. Let me turn around this way so I can see better what I'm doing. Okay. So I need to trim all this down. And so it's also going to have some additional dimension, and I'll probably will achieve that through shadowing. Actually, I probably need that line under it, not above it. Here we go. I'm thinking this looks pretty good. Oh, Rhonda. Judy says, and we can vouch for that statement. Oh, y'all just are too sweet. Janet says she got here late, but Bible study was great. Good. That is awesome. Rhonda, she loves these paintings of chapels. They're her favorite. I'm so glad. I love chapels, y'all. I remember we used to, Chicky, Fat Jack. Y'all are hilarious. I remember one of our favorite things used to be just to drive through, like when we go on vacation and just the countryside and see what we could see. And sometimes we would come up on these chapels and we'd take pictures of them. Oh, they're your favorite too. And it was Miss Linda, I believe, wasn't it? And I believe that's right. Y'all, I've talked to too many people today. Um, I think that's right. That won the chapel. Okay, now listen, I've still got to get the name of somebody I want to give something to. And this is it. I know I said I'd do it last night and I got sick, and then tonight I have not done it. I'm sorry. I ask your forgiveness. Um and I just need your grace right now. Um so I am going to send someone an 8x10 print of Bunny Shelter. Kathy, yes. Thank you, Judy. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I just had a brain lapse there. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you so much. Um, I am sending someone an 8x10 print of Bunny Shelter. I just love that little piece. And that's what I'm going to do. I hope y'all would be excited about that. So tomorrow night, I know it's Bible study tomorrow night, but I want to take care of that piece. I don't like going this long. I like staying to my word, true to my word, and we're gonna fix that. Okay, so here's the thing. Gotta watch my time. All right, here's our canvas. Let me hold it up again. I held it up at the beginning, but just in case you joined a little bit late, this is where we started. Okay, so now I'm gonna put our chapel on here. I think it's sitting on brushes and pencils and lots of things that are on my table. Let me move my iPad. Get it out of the way. Okay. All right, y'all. So now I'm going to transfer this sweet thing onto my canvas. And this is quite a bit bigger than what I initially started with, but I think I really like this size because it's going to give a little bit better meaning to even the landscape around it. Truth of the matter is, oh, I'm glad y'all liked him. Truth of the matter is, if I get this on here and I'm not happy with it, we just paint over it and we do something else. Done it before, we'll do it again. So I'm going to put my carbon paper under here and I'm going to transfer this onto our canvas. Now, I want to make sure one thing that's important to me, I can get a hold of it. Okay. I want to double check my centering, so to speak, of this chapel to make sure I've got it just where I want it. I feel pretty good about that. All right, so now I'm going to transfer my image onto here. Now I want to make sure I'm giving it enough pressure. Yes, I'm getting a little bit of a line there. You may not be able to see it, but I'll show you when I get done. Because of the size of this canvas, it has some give to it, which makes it a little difficult to really apply a lot of pressure. But if I can just get a sketch, that is all I need. And I'm just trying to make sure my major lines are transferring. And I'm right here at that joining of the two papers. Now let me just check it real quick to see if I'm still doing okay on this. Yes, it is transferring. Now when I get done, I'm going to hold this up so you can see a little bit better. Okay. And I'm kind of going over my lines like this because I want to make sure it is transferring. So that's why I'm kind of doing my pencil like I am instead of just straight lines. Okay, moment of truth. There we go. It's on there. Now I'm going to hold it up so you can see better. So you see? Hey, Winifred, how are you? So there's the steeple. And we're coming right along here. And there's some of the, y'all, it is very light. And that is exactly how we want it. We don't want it to be really black on there because we want to be able to cover it with paint. Okay. Now, I would tell y'all the other night when we got through painting, I did work on this background some more. And one of the things that I worked on was right here, the horizon line, because we have these hills going on. I wanted a horizon line right here that would give a breaking point from the hill to the level area to help us build the rest of our story. And I carried that on over here as well. Okay. So this is kind of where we're going to stop for tonight because I've got an appointment at 7:30, believe it or not. Hey, Miss Ann. I am trying so hard to get this. See, we're on Facebook and YouTube right now. And I'm trying to get everything up and going to get on Instagram all at the same time. Girl, I hope so, Rhonda. I hope so. I am envisioning spring and I don't know. You know, one thing I wish I could do, and this is gonna have to, I don't know if it'll be a part of this series or I wish I was halfway decent at people, but I'm not. I'm not there yet. So maybe I need to put some families in here too. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna see where the paint takes us. That's always um, been the best thing for me to do when it comes to my art. Oh, I love you too, Christine. Thank you, Winifred. I'm glad you like the church. Rhonda, I hope it's beautiful, girl. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it all unfolds. All right, y'all. I'm going to have to scoot, but I'm glad we got to spend some time together. I know this is a little bit shorter time than we usually do. Thank you, Miss Judy. Y'all, I'm glad y'all have confidence in me because I'm like, I'm not really sure. But this was a little bit shorter time. It was only about 35 minutes, but that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So I think this is really a good time that we spent in sketching out the chapel, getting it placed. And I just want to be sure that it's not too much like any of the things that um, any of these examples that I pulled off the internet. Y'all know my heart. I want to be original and authentic. So that's my goal. So anyway, y'all hold me accountable, okay? Thank you, Miss Janet. Chicky, here's the church, here's the steeple. Open the door and see all the people. That's right. That's right. Miss Janet, you have a good night too. Thank you so much. I'm glad I'm feeling better too. Teresa, I'm excited to see also, girl. Judy, you have a wonderful evening as well. Yes. And tomorrow night we have our Kingdom Woman discussion. So please, if you can, join me. Chicky, you know how it is when you're a working woman? Rest is not an easy thing. Oh, goodness. Well, listen, thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I will see you all again very soon. I love you guys. Bye.